name is Onogbeson Yaya Bolade from Remo here in Ogun State. Here we have what we call Remo Political Debate 2015. The whole idea about this Remo political debate was as a result of our people not knowing who they are voting for, not knowing what they have, and even not knowing how to get what they want. Therefore, various youths from various associations, towns, came together. For example, we have Remo, we have Ishara, we have Ipara, we have Shagam, we have Irolu, we have Ikene, and lots of that. We came together to make sure that our candidates we are voting for, we know them. We ask them questions. We tell them what we want, and at the same time, we'll tell them how to get it. I know this is a program that you enjoy. At the same time, this is a program that will serve as a follow-up to our vote, and I'll make sure that our votes count. Thank you very much for viewing.
Remo and the management of this institution, the Remo Anglican College, for giving us the advantage and the opportunity to make use of this comment on your best song of the area. Can you please come out for the mission statement of Remo?
Students, good afternoon. Like you heard, that my name is Professor Yaya Bolade. Anyway, I don't have a briefing statement, but what I want us to know, the major thing, which is the mission for this Remo political debate, is that we are the electorates. Yes or no? We are voting yes or no? And do you want our vote to count? Do you want our vote to count? So if so, that is where we are here. Anyway, the Remo political debate came as a result of some youth from various associations, various towns. I would like to appreciate my brother here, Kildami, for a very wonderful job. Thank you very much. And the Kenneth who, we came together and said we need to have a debate. Despite all the challenges, very challenges, candidate challenges, and things like that, but we still make it. Let's give us a round of applause. And at the same time, we believe that one of our beliefs is that for a government to be well known, that government must put youth into consideration, yes or no. And lastly, one of the major statements is that we want our youth to know that, and our teenagers, we are not only the leaders of tomorrow, but leaders of what? You can get up of today. So that is why we want you to know that it is your right to know who you are voting for. It is your right to pinpoint what you want them to do for you. And at the same time, it is your right, and you must know that we must never be brainwashed. In the past, we come across a lot of things that are most of our youth. When I say youth, I'm not talking about 10 or 14. So far, you are still living. Like some people say that once you are 70 or 60, that you are still a youth. So far you are still living, you are voting. you are still a youth. So the reason why we are here, as you know, you two want to come and ask questions. You want to come and hear what our candidates have for us. We don't just want to vote for anybody, but we want to know their manifestos. We want to know them more. Like here, this is my first time of seeing some people. That's why we chat on online. So the major thing that we have as our objective or mission statement is that we want our youth to know from various towns that one, Remo, we are one body. Then number two is that our vote is what? Our right. Thank you very much.
Very much coming on our best, the chairman for today's public education. At the same time, there's a general saying that says many may call or few may choose it. But I thank God for among those people that were choosing, we are more, and we also count worthy to be among those people that are here today. Next on the agenda is the first discourse. Despite the fact that we invited many political parties here, we invited Honorable Ogun, we invited Honorable Ibrahim Taofi, under the party of SDP, Honorable Ogun, under the political party of APC. We invited Honorable Ayola Adekola, under the political party of SDP. We invited Honorable Laji under the political party of UPN. I'm very sorry, sir. We invited Honorable Laji Adekola under the political party of PUP and other aspirants from all other political parties. But we don't know the reasons why they are not here. Maybe it is still known personally to them. But we still believe there is still light at the end of all dynamic problems. We believe, if possible, if they believe we use our partner in progress for a better and new Nigeria, we have the means to, and have we have the reasons to invite them and to honor us. Because ẹ̀yin àgbàdo lè sọ pé àti kékeré láti tẹ̀ka ìrókò torí tó bá dàgbà ẹ̀bọ̀n ló máa gbà. We youth, we call us leaders of tomorrow, but we will see ourselves as leaders of today and a partner in progress for a better and new Nigeria. That is why we will be able to organize this epoch-making event. Now we are inviting the aspirants under the Unity Party of Nigeria in person of Honorable Ayo Abibola JP. Ayo Abibola JP for the first discourse, because he happens to be the only aspirant that is on seat for now. Despite the fact, I still need more emphasis on that. We invited everybody, but many were called, few were chosen. We invited him to the podium for the first discourse about his agenda, his vision, mission, and what he has for the youth, for the aged ones within the Remo federal constituency. We should be able to discuss with us, because it's not a youth like us. A man of applause for him.
Some of you may know my father, High Chief Olatilewa Abibola. Some of you know him as Baba Orale and also Loto Fuarope. That is just a little background about my connection to Remo Federal Constituency. As I stand before you all today, I want to first of all, besides all the groups that are here, I want to acknowledge these young boys and girls. As I see them, I remember my own background. And I want to talk first of all, perhaps that's the only thing I'm going to talk about. If I have enough time, I could talk about other things. The Unity Party of Nigeria, ẹgbẹ́ bàbá Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ tí a gbé dìde padà, is the platform upon which I stand. And I will say categorically that the reason why I embrace the UPN, the primary reason, is the free education and all the UPN 4 cardinal program. Now, many of us here have children. I have children, and they are young children just like these children. And many of you here, I believe, have children, or you know at least somebody who has children. And then, the UPN is the only party right now, even though a lot of people have told you about free education. With all due respect to our governor, Senator Nikule Oyelaja-Amosu, he promised free education 4 years ago. There are some university or polytechnic students here, and there are other students. I don't know how many of you have free education in Ogun State right now. If there's any school in Ogun State that has free education, I like to visit that school and ask them how free it is. But that's the platform for the party at state level. Now I want to talk about my role as a candidate for Federal House of Representatives to represent the Remo Federal Constituency, comprising of our local government here, Remo North, the Kenya local government, and Shagamu local government, of course. I cannot tell you everything that I have as far as the programs that I want to implement in the form of constituency projects. But I can refer all of us to my website. I have a website, anybody can visit the website. That's www.ayoabibola.com, together as in one word. But let me mention specifically the things that I stand for. Number one, in terms of youth empowerment, in terms of social development, and in terms of healthcare, many of which mirrors the 4 cardinal points program of the Unity Party of Nigeria. Number one, I don't believe in 10 million that serves just the neighborhood. That's not empowerment, and that's not development. People who are doing it more reach to their level. But I believe in empowering our youth. I have a proposal that I do intend to make a constituency project, and that is what I call Remo Technology Workforce. Why do I call it workforce? Because it is a gateway to employment, which is one of the chronic problems facing our youth today. Remo Technology Workforce that I envisage is a public-private partnership, public in the sense of government money through the federal government for constituency project, private in the sense of non-profit organizations that I intend to attract, not here in Nigeria, but coming from overseas, that believe in developing African youth. came together with our constituency funding projects here to set up this technology workforce. Our polytechnic students, our university students, our college of education students, if you have a CV, say you are looking for a job after your education, you go out there and an employer looks at your CV. Guess what the employer is looking for? You can have a bachelor's degree or even a master's degree. That's just an attraction. The employer, I am an employer, so I know what employers look for. The employer is looking for your skills, your knowledge, your skills, your abilities. In short, they are looking for your KSAs. And that is what the Remo technology workforce is going to prepare our youth for. Different softwares or even hardwares that you're going to be going through training with the technology workforce. You are going to be trained in technology because today's employers, they are not looking for your bachelor's degree. It's okay to have it. They want to know, is this young man or this young woman, can he or she, does he or she understand what an Excel spreadsheet looks like? Does he or she understand what Java looks like? C++, all the different technological tools you use in banking, you use in insurance industry, you use in hospitals, you use everywhere. Because today, everybody here probably has a Facebook page. You know, Facebook is a tool, it's a social network. It's where people go and play. Some people, they say all kinds of things regarding what they intend, what they are all about. But then, I don't have much time, but that's one program, the Remo Technology Workforce. Another program is the Sister Cities. I will talk about that very briefly. Sister Cities is an initiative that I have come up with a blueprint that brings in foreign cities to adopt cities in Remo. A city like Ishara could be a sister city of, say, a place like San Antonio, Texas, the city where I live in the US. What do they do? We will identify needs that people have in Ishara. And I will say to those who are going to fund this project, in addition to the Remo Technology Workforce and the Sister City Initiative, these are the things that our youth, or our young people, or our elderly need in Ishara. And they will adopt Ishara as a city and start to put things there, based on the fact that a federal representative is asking them to do it. I have operated in the area of public health, that is my background. I do have a master's in public health with a specialization in emergency and disaster management from Tel Aviv University in Israel. That's just a little bit about my educational background. But I am also a veteran of the United States military. I served in the United States Navy, and I also served in the United States Marine Corps. So some of these things that we have learned out there carrying out medical missions is what is going to bring about what I do out there for planned operations for medical intelligence for our elderly. We have free health services in the UPN platform, but that is at state level. What I can do as a federal representative are some of the things that I mentioned. So the place you can go to is my website, www.ayoabibola.com, where you can see all the initiatives that I've done. I have the 10-point agenda. I just brought out those 3 key areas because 2 of them heavily depend on how our youth can be carried forward to ensure that they can actually gain employment. And the third is how our elderly can benefit from healthcare services that the Unity Party of Nigeria also is going to be funded at state level. We believe Rotimi Maisheda will win the gubernatorial race regardless of what the polls are saying out there. This is a grassroots networking. So I thank you for the opportunity. I'm not sure if I talked about everything I could have talked about, even though we do not have all the other contestants, the other candidates from other parties. I was hoping that since they are not here, I could as well tell you a lot that I have to offer. But it appears we still under some time constraint, and I appreciate the opportunity. These young people are here. Some of you will notice that when I started to talk about them, I was almost choking. There's a reason for that. these kids, the future belongs to them. The same way some people told our elderly here, our grown-ups here, that the future belongs to us, right? But those same people who told us that the future belongs to us, they are still sitting on the necks of the society. If I'm going to throw a jab right now, I would say that people in their 70s should not be aspiring to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but we do have some candidates who are in those categories. You want somebody who can fight. You want somebody who can articulate the issues that pertains to their people, or to his people, or to our people. I am such a person that you can count on. You know, I've been in warfare environments. I've seen battle, I've seen fight. So besides fighting wars, I know how to fight, I know how to get results. I am a result-oriented kind of person. So that is why I believe that I am best equipped to be the federal representative for the Remo Federal Constituency. The bill that I have in mind specifically to address that question is inculcated in force development. Not just because that I have that background, but I do believe that the Nigerian military is moribund. And I'm not trying to be for anybody, I'm not trying to pick on the military. But I can tell you that our military is moribund, in the sense that even a ragtag militia is terrorizing the Nigerian army and they can't do anything about it. Let nobody tell me it's political. It is not political. It is the ineptitude of the military that makes them so incompetent. There is so much corruption in the military. So the bill I intend to initiate is called National Force Modernization Bill. And what it does for the youth specifically is that I will propose the abolition of fees. When I have been serving, nobody pays the government anything to take the application form. So it will be free for you to take an application form to enlist in the Navy, in the Army, or Air Force. That will help more youth to get in the military because they won't have to pay for it to get in the military. That's what As I stand before you right now, I am happy to tell you that I have been the executive director of a group known as Citizens for Nigeria. The CFN, I have been executive director of the CFN for the last 10 years, more than 10 years now. We have groups in Nigeria and in the diaspora. And what we do specifically, we engage in community advocacy. It may not have directly impacted Remo Federal Constituency directly, but it has impacted Nigeria as a constituency at large. Specifically, how the Remo youth can benefit from the natural resources that we know Remo is blessed with. Now, there is, you will hear me talking about public-private partnership. It is not a new slogan. It's been around for a while. A lot of people talk about Fashola in Lagos, how well he's doing and all that stuff. And that's because Fashola has found a way to tap into the ingenuity of those who operate public-private partnership. Here in Remo, specifically, how can our resources here help our youth? I have a proposal. Natural initiative, even though natural resources are not necessarily viewed as agricultural, but it is tied in a lot of ways. The sort of resources, be it lime, be it bitumen, be it, I don't know if Remo has uranium, I'm not sure uranium is in Remo, but there are other parts of Nigeria where you have uranium. Whatever resources we have, our youth, many of them are in the big cities, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, maybe Abeokuta, and so on and so forth. They've all left home. because they can't see anything interesting here in Remo. There's nothing to attract them to bring them home. But just what if somebody comes up with such a public-private partnership that brings the youth back? They know that they can make a living. They can actually begin to cultivate an industry status based on such development. This is the plan that I have. It is tied to youth development. It is still part of the public-private partnership initiative. You know, like Walt Disney said, some of you have heard of Walt Disney. He said, if you build it, they will come. It is true. It's like somebody builds an amusement park in some bush somewhere. Everybody who hears about it, they travel there because of that amusement park, no matter how far it is. So if you bring up issues or an initiative that attracts our youth, they know that they can come there, they can be gainfully employed, and they can make money, and they can help their families. So that is part of the PPP that we are talking about. This is not a state initiative. It is a federal initiative that federal representatives can bring about. I am making that pledge to Remo and everyone who is here who can also take that information to Ronike, Lagos, Togo. Tell our people. Tell our people that public-private partnerships are possible here in Remo, and that will bring the youth about youth employment, youth development. Example right now. When Batoko UPN today, to register in April, I said to the leadership, decided that even many of the youth that will be given tickets, will not pay for it. And in the UPN right now in this Ogun State, many of the candidates for House of Assembly, they were given free tickets. They didn't pay for it. Many of the candidates for House of Reps were given tickets. They didn't pay for it. I paid for my ticket. I wasn't given free. Well, to feel I don't need free tickets. So they say I must pay. Well, I pay. But that's not the issue. The issue is if you want the youth to get involved, you have to open that avenue for them. So the UPN is engaging Nigerian youth and bringing them into the fold so that any job there, aspire for office, many of them are candidates right now and they are out there working. So don't allow anybody to deceive you. The UPN is the party you want to vote for. I would say to Remo youth right now, you can trust Ayobabiola to fight for your interest because I understand what you are dealing with. I understand the forces you are fighting against and the odds seem insurmountable. What I mean, you fight for Remo, you can trust me that I will be holding meetings weekly or bi-weekly at home here. And maybe we'll be telling you every day, and I really study. Free education at all levels is the platform of the Unity Party of Nigeria. The restoration, so to speak, of the UPN as we have it right now. Free education is part of that four cardinal program. I personally, as you know, I'm not running for government. Our governorship candidate, Prince Olatunde wrote to me by Sheda. He will be the one implementing free education in the state. But from my angle, as a federal representative who stands on the platform of the same Unity Party of Nigeria, who believes fully in free education, I am also a product of free education. Because when Papa first brought up free education in the 70s, in the late 70s, I was in high school. So when free education came in 1979, in the state, even though Papa was not president, but the governors of the state, everybody implemented free education. So I'm also a product of that free education. So, to answer your question specifically, a federal representative that I believe what I believe a federal representative can do for free education is to promote it at the national level. Is to even bring up a bill, even if we know we will not have a UPN president this month, as far as elections. UPN candidate, we don't have a presidential candidate. But when UPN sends federal representatives to National Assembly or sends senators to National Assembly, those are the sort of things we are going to be talking about. We're going to be making references to the states where it's working, and then we'll be bringing awareness so that in the next election cycle, other states will begin to accept that free education is something that Nigeria needs to have again. Have been able to even come up with this so-called stomach infrastructure. Somebody coined that phrase and it has spread like a virus. But it is working for them. I say them because I don't see myself in that category. You know, a lot of people say to me, Honorable Jack Bonnet, and you will keep my Jack Bonnet, Jack also for what I'm about. Alright, on election day in this Nigeria, specifically right here in our Remo, I've seen it with my own two naked eyes in 2011. Two women fighting over 500 naira. Kilo daga on there. Honorable complete 500 naira. Come to 2. In case of 250, no more. Those are the sort of issues we deal with. So how do you even begin to address that issue? I cannot tell you now that I can do anything about it. There is nothing I can do about the problem of stomach infrastructure in Nigeria. But I can tell you what the Unity Party of Nigeria can do. It is in the program of integrated rural development. Our areas are mostly rural. If you develop the rural areas, and you don't want to go on iṣẹ́ lápá, àbí iṣẹ́ kan wà tó ń lọ, òkè àpò ṣé olódó ìrẹsì mélòó fẹ́ gbé wá, àbí àpò gàrí mélòó fẹ́ gbé wá tó máa please wọn. They will feel insulted because they have something that do. But when people don't have a job, then they will be ruled by money. So me only solve the stomach infrastructure problem. But the party has a program, integrated rural development. Ká tún gbogbo àwọn rural area ṣe kí iṣẹ́ lè jáde kínú àwọn èèyàn lè máa dùn.
As a leader of a better and a good Nigeria, we are having in our midst the presence of the vibrant, rugged, Republican, ever religious, student union president, the Grand Commander-in-Chief of all African forces of the prestige Gateway IFC Polytechnic Stafford. Ever militant Dada, ever vibrant Bodo. Also, we are recognizing the presence of the National Executive of National Association of Polytechnic Students. There happens to be the only executive and the appointee there in the institution. Can you please stand up for recognition, please?
Great Nigerian students.
Operational level, as far as containment shape, that affected Remo, is so much about àwọn tẹ́mi bá gba àwọn tẹ́mi mo help láti wọnú military service. Even here in Nigeria, I have also helped some indigenes of Remo Federal to get in Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Army, and Nigerian Navy. We will graduate into becoming a TV station. So it will become a radio and TV station that will be a training ground in this Remo. Because if I say in one place, I want to talk, I want to withdraw a lot of radios. So I won't mention where the radio will be, but I guarantee you, when I am the federal rep, you will begin to hear about Remo radio. All over Remo, you'll be hearing it.
Which happens to be a polytechnic. But sir, in the present situation of things in Nigeria, we are having the issue of the discrimination and the dichotomy between the HND holder and the BSc holder. And at the same time, sir, looking at the present situation of things, the bill has been passed to the House by the present president of Nigeria, the person of President Goodluck Jonathan, that there should be no dichotomy between the HND holder and the BSc holder. And we are having only one legislator within the House that is speaking against the will of the major members, which is a senator, a person of Senator Peace in giving. And at the same time, as a youth, as a father.
Questions. But I remember them, but I'm going to try to answer them so that I won't have overlap. But first, let me address the issue of local government autonomy. If you have ever read the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria of 1979 as amended, you will realize that local government autonomy has never been an issue. The crisis over local government autonomy is a manufactured crisis. And I will tell you why. The people who are benefiting from it, they like it that way. They like the status quo. The Constitution is very clear. We have a three-tier government: federal, state, and local. And that's why we are a federal republic. We borrowed the American system. In the US, you have the federal government, you have counties, not local government. And straight to the local government, to the counties in the US. But why that is not happening in Nigeria is very clear. Our governors, they like to operate like emperors. And once they have partnership at the federal level, those who work in cahoots with them, then they put in place a system whereby local government is being controlled by the state, even though the constitution belongs to the local government into a state account. Look at what is going on here in Ogun State. Abuja sends money to Amosu, and Amosu decides who is in that place in the local government, who gets what. That is the system. Even though the state is not PDP controlled, but because the government is doing the same thing in PDP states, it cannot be different in Ogun State, even though they are not in charge. And I have never seen any federal representative who has the courage to stand in the floor of the National Assembly and say to the government, enough of this nonsense. Even the poly students, going by the curriculum of their education, they have more job-ready skills than a BSc holder. That is my view. Because if you look at the curriculum of a bachelor's degree, and you look at the curriculum of an HND who has already had an OND and then HND, the educational standard is equal. There is no dichotomy. Overseas, that we borrow their system, they don't see polytechnic education as inferior to a regular so-called university, put that in quote. There is no difference because everyone has a trajectory where they are heading to. So I don't see HND being inferior to BSc, and I don't see BSc being superior to HND. To me, they are equal in training. They are, actually HND technical skills are much more refined than someone who has a BSc in economics, for example. You can't compare that person to someone who has an HND in accountancy, for example. So that is the fact. So the government themselves must step up and be the leader they're supposed to be. And that's what we are lacking in this. bringing more progressive growth, riding workers. Really appreciate it. I would also like to appreciate some other groups that have tried to create time out of no time to make sure that they are here this evening in order to ensure that the program is successful. The Kennedy Youth Association President, I really appreciate it. The youth from Ogun, I really appreciate it. Likewise, I would also love to appreciate the national station of Remo students, Maponi chapter, those ones from Shapade ICT Polytechnic, Shapade ICT Polytechnic President. Thank you for coming. I must not forget the Akaka youth. Thank you for coming. The Remo Television Group, thank you for coming. The National President of National Association of University Students, the Vice President of the Remo Group, even though he's not present in our meeting, but we can all see his presence in one way or the other. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Bringing up that additional step for me to take. It is true that I've answered a lot of questions here today, and I just want to, first of all, express my appreciation for everyone here, because I know for a fact that if other contestants were here, I probably wouldn't have that much time. Even though I didn't get to debate them, their chairs are empty, but on the other hand, it turned out to be a blessing also that I didn't have to debate the others, so I had a chance to answer more questions. So I'm sure everyone here will go home with some information at least. Even if you didn't hear everything, you at least would have gotten hold of something. What do I want Remo Youth to do for me or the Unity Party of Nigeria? It's very simple. I need Remo Youth to vote for the Unity Party of Nigeria for the reasons that I have already enumerated here, because it is about your future. It is about your parents. It is about your children. It is about your neighbors. It is about your neighborhood, what is possible in your neighborhood. You're going to have 3 ballots. One is for the presidency. The other one is for the senatorial race, and the third one is for the Federal House of Representatives. I am running for the Federal House of Representatives on the platform of the Unity Party of Nigeria. I ask you to please vote for the Unity Party of Nigeria. When you vote for the UPN, you are voting for me. When you vote for me, you voted for the UPN.